Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm here to bring you a manga chapter review of Toriko chapter 314. Oddly enough, this chapter doesn't have many ball jokes. I can't really bring up ball jokes, so yeah, it's kind of disheartening. I mean, I've been used to, bring up these type of nutcracker jokes and stuff for the past couple chapters, and to see a chapter that kind of orientates on dancing, quite different. So, this chapter of Toriko, a really good chapter. Once again, more setup, more hype building for Bambina. Thankfully enough, we didn't have Bambina getting even more stronger in this chapter. Like, oh my god, as I've been saying multiple chapters now, Bambina's hype, the build up and the strength of him in these past couple chapters have been unbelievable. And I'm glad in this chapter, Bambina once again did not power up even more, but I wanted to bet it might happen even more since now Toriko and, the four Heavenly Kings are, attacking Bambina at the end of this chapter. So, the chapter is straightforward. It's a dancing chapter. That's what this chapter is. Now, at the beginning of the chapter, you have to where Kaka, she is going to attack Komatsu or whatever she's trying to do, and at the exact same token, the shark that she's inside, the shark train or whatever, collapses because of the gravity, and she thankfully is fine. Now, in that act, you have it to where she looks at, the beast, she looks at, Terry and all of them, it's like, oh, if you do anything to go against me, I'll eat you, and that face, oh my god, like, that face Kaka had, bro, like, oh my god. So, clearly, from this point, it's obvious that Kaka is evil. It kind of is for her to say something like that to, Terry and them, like, oh, I will eat you. Yeah, she's got some shady business going on, like straight up shady business. So she's going to be interrupting the fight I see very soon when it comes to Bambina. We'll have to see how that goes. Now, moving past that point, there's not much else going on there. It's just confirming that, the shark collapsed because of the 100G gravity. Kaka just is getting very pissed, shows her true colors. Komatsu was like a poison doll, and Komatsu is somewhere else. And then we move on to the dancing with the Imbu training. So, the dancing is the main portion when it comes to this chapter, and, I mean, the chapter overall, you just get to see Toriko and the gang just dancing and all that, doing different moves and funny freaking faces, like, oh my god. One thing I have to say, I never expected to see was Zebra's face like that. Like, did you see Zebra's face in this chapter? Like, his face, when he's dancing, he's like this. I'm like, you'd think a character that constantly will beat the shit out of you and say, like, don't get cocky and stuff like that, he wouldn't, have a face like that. The way his face was drawn in this chapter, it's so out of place for his character. It just looks so freaking weird. I mean, I know it's slightly meant for comedy, and they're in a spot, like, if they fuck up, they're gonna die, and technically they fucked up at the end of the chapter, but still, the point is, getting to see Zebra's face when he was, having that weird bug-eyed look on his face, just really weird. He did it, like, twice in this chapter, and once last chapter, which I forgot to mention, but just very odd. Now, the one thing that this chapter led to was showing that the four Heavenly Kings, they messed up big time when it came to the dance. Like, once again, they fucked up. So, the last dance panel that was on the wall, supposedly it was taken off the wall, and that is very interesting. Like, why would the final dance move be taken off the wall? Supposedly it wasn't destroyed. It was actually personally removed from the wall. So, who removed it? And clearly that's not a good thing, because whoever's doing that fucked up the entire reason of how you can get paired the legit way. I mean, could it possibly be Kaka that did it? I mean, I highly doubt. I mean, she has her own shady business. She's very shady, but would she really try to mess up the four Heavenly Kings when it comes to the Imbu dance to try to get pair? Or is there something else going on here? But that's one of the main things this chapter sets up, alongside of how the four Heavenly Kings actually work together and they demonstrate a new ability. So, apparently, if you can control your cells and you use Imbu, if you have multiple people that can use Imbu and they can control their cells, they can work together and form their cells into one and do attacks. And we get to see the four Heavenly Kings combine all 240 trillion cells. I think that's how many there were. They combine 240 trillion cells together and focus on an attack on Bambina. And they completely go after and hit him straight in the gut with all their fists. So they're using a really strong technique. And as we found out multiple chapters ago, if you use, offensive type abilities with Imbu, you can be a planet buster. You could. And I mean, I don't know if Toriko and them are a planet buster, but I mean, the point of it is that's incredibly strong. They probably did some damage to Bambina, but even then, since Bambina is, a great beast. Like, he's one of the strongest beasts out there. I personally don't believe he should be really defeated like this. I still say, to this point, there's no way the 4 Heavenly Kings should stand up to Bambina at all. Even though they're combining their powers together, I just won't approve if Bambina really gets put down for the count, because, you know, them working together with Imbu. I wouldn't approve of that. So I hope something else goes on here, because there's a lot of wild cards playing on in this chapter, in these past couple chapters. Kaka, Komatsu, you have these mysterious figures that, you know, Toriko saw when he grabbed Bambina's pair of nuts. There's just a lot of things going on here, and so there's a lot of wild cards. We don't know necessarily what's going to happen in the next chapter, but I just hope Toriko and them do not KO Bambina because of their effort with Imbu. So that's pretty much the chapter. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, how'd you feel about this week's chapter of Toriko? How'd you feel about the dancing? Just the dancing? I mean, I'm a beautiful dancer, too. I mean, you're all jealous. I mean, look at this. Yeah. Shit, dancing. Okay, not fucking around. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.